Sometimes when life gives you lemons, you just gotta make lemonades. My speech today will be about how I climbed the ranks at my work without even intending to stay there a long time. My original goal was to only be there a few months. So this story starts out with me and my best friend. We had come up with the idea to move to SF together, to live as roommates in an apartment in somewhere in SF, because we really liked the city. We'd go out there all the time. We loved shopping. We loved hanging around out there, and that's where, at least how we saw it, all the fun was at and all the opportunity was at too. So she had already gotten her job down there at a Nordstrom working security. So now it was my turn. So I was applying to jobs online all over the place. And then I finally got one at a restaurant. And I would just show up to work and just sort of, do the minimum. We've all done it before. It's just a sort of minimum wage job. You just kind of show up, do what you need to do, and leave. But at the time, I wasn't in school anymore, and really moving in was really the only thing on my mind, in both of our minds. So I started gradually putting more and more effort into the job, to the point where a few months in, I was almost proud of my work there. Which is a little weird because, this was just an ends to a means, not the means itself. So after more and more time passes, the managers there, for this story, there's two important characters, Ronica, the general manager, and Lucky, a shift supervisor. We're picking up on how much work I was putting into the job. It started to be noticeable how I did just a little bit more than average and stuff like that, even though it wasn't my goal at the end of the day. And it got to the point where one day, about a year and a half after me working there, they called me into the office, and normally calling an employee into the office usually means something negative. I was even a little worried. But no, when they called me into the office, they sat me down and they asked me, "Diego, would you like to be a manager?" And I was shocked. I was like, "No way, really?" And they were like, "Yeah, it's good money, we'll train you, and then, your career could take off from there." And I was just, I was shocked. I was shocked to hear it, and I didn't know what to think, because that had never even crossed my mind. To be a restaurant manager, really? That was never in my plans. But I said yes. I took the opportunity and I said yes, because I had grown to like the job. And to be honest, I didn't have anything else going on, and the money would have been great as well. And today, I'm still a manager at this job, which is great. I even got transferred to a new location, and the original plan, funny enough, ended up falling out. My best friend and I didn't end up moving to SF. I'm still living at home, and she moved out to San Mateo. And it's just interesting how life works itself out sometimes, and basically the main message of my story is that sometimes you're given opportunities out of nowhere where you least expect it, and you should always be ready to take them. Thank you.